This
We've
country.
got no prime minister and no air conditioning.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's like sweating like dogs here. I mean, it's a great event, but you guys need to discover this 100-year-old technology that we have everywhere in America. But that's good to be here, seriously. No comment on 10 Downing Street. Read the president's social media post about the outgoing prime minister. My message to everyone here is we want our allies, whether it's the Brits or anyone else in Europe, to just rediscover your confidence. The speeches that have been given, what was it, a year and a half ago by the Vice President in Munich, then recently by Secretary Rubio, tell you everything you need to know. It's the President's guiding philosophy. We want to work with serious countries, but if you have a civilizational confidence issue, we put this in the President's national security strategy and the counterterrorism strategy that I helped draft as well. We want countries who believe in themselves, that believe in borders, that don't want to have overwhelming illegal immigration, that want to work with us to deal with the scourge of threats which have been around for decades, like Iran. So we'd like all of those countries to be serious allies. That's what we're looking for.
Well, speaking of, I just want to thank you on behalf of the West for taking out the biggest jihadi there is, which is the Ayatollah, and you did that under Trump's administration. What was that like, and what has the aftermath been? Because that is kind of the main thing on the agenda at the moment, right. Iran, and I know that there's only so much you can talk to us about that, but are we in the clear yet, or is it still very murky?
So let me just expand upon that. You're absolutely right. When it comes to the Middle East, and not just the Middle East, the last time I was in the UK, I arrived exactly after the Iranian plot was intercepted by the police, an attempt to use violence on the streets of the UK for the purposes of that Islamo-fascist regime. So it's not just something happening, 6,000 miles away in the Middle East. It's happening here in the UK. It's happening in the US. So what the president is doing with Iran should have been done for the last 47 years, but nobody had the intestinal fortitude to do it until we had President Trump back in the Oval Office. But the picture, the story that you will not hear in the mainstream media is so much bigger. I have a slice of that as the person in charge of counterterrorism. Let me tell you what the president has achieved in just the last 15 months. Outside of Operation Epic Fury,
yes.
Outside of Midnight Hammer, our warfighters, with the support of our British colleagues, we have killed 1,051 jihadis in 15 months. Not only that, hostages fall under our directorate as well. Think of this, record-breaking. The president, through his negotiating skills, through his team, has brought home 106 American hostages or wrongfully detained US citizens who are now with their families back home in America. And we didn't pay one penny in ransom to any regime. I flew to Afghanistan myself to bring back a US citizen that had been held by the Taliban. This is what it means to lean forward and represent your national interests. And a part of that, probably the biggest part right now, is the resolution of Operation Epic Fury and the deal the president's team is negotiating right now. And for all the naysayers, let me just be very clear, and I have to make this to my friends on the right as well. Can I have a gut check, a reality check? Nobody has defeated the president for 50 years. Not in business, not in the Oval Office. They tried to put him in prison for 700 years. They tried to kill him on several occasions. The idea that any nation is going to get the better of him, let alone an Islamo-fascist regime like Iran, is not happening. So have faith, trust the plan, and trust the man who literally wrote the book, The Art of the Deal.
One tiny flaw ruins most grounding shoes, but grounded footwear fixed it. See, most grounding shoes use a single
Absolutely. And you guys have been such a blueprint for how the rest of, Europe, Australia, everyone should deal with terrorism. You need to have a hardline approach. And you've been saying that for years, decades. The problem here is that down the road from this conference centre, you've got obviously the Iranian embassy that's still operating. The IRGC is not a prescribed terrorist group in the UK. Why is that? Why has the UK not cracked down on this earlier? And I've been on all these marches. I have seen that there is radical extremism on the streets, and it's festering in some of those marches that happen and things like that. I'm not a fan of banning anything, But things like the IRGC should be banned, no? I mean, why is the UK so limp about it?
So look, let me reiterate what I just said. The president is interested in sovereign nation states. So it's your sovereign decision, whoever you elect to be your government, to take that decision with any organization, be it Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the IRGC. So we're not going to tell another sovereign nation what to do. However, look, let me also give you the flip side, the good news story. One of the first places I visited when I entered the second Trump administration was the UK. I'm back here for my third visit in less than a year and a half. When we meet policy professional to policy professional, CT practitioner, counterterrorism practitioner, go and meet the boys down in Hereford, go to Whitehall, go to the FCDO. We really don't have many disagreements. When it's brass tacks, we understand the threat. We understand the threat. The problem is perhaps a disconnect at times between the professional counterterrorism individual and the political masters above them. That's not my job to fix. That's up to the Brits to fix.
Lastly, what do you think is the biggest issue facing the West at the moment?
Oh, without a doubt, it's exactly what the president has discussed, the vice president, Secretary Rubio. It's a lack of, quote, civilizational confidence. You can't effectively defend that which you don't fully believe in. You have to, look, I grew up in this country. I spent the first 23 years of my life in this country. My parents were immigrants. They were real refugees. I went to a school in West London and Ealing where, except for one kid, everybody had some kind of foreign background. We were Poles, Hungarians, Pakistanis, Indians, but we were all British. We embraced that identity, and it was a positive identity. The idea that you undermine your history, you concentrate on the bad things that did happen and not the incredible things that Western civilization has done. It's very hard to defend that which you don't believe in. So we want all of our colleagues in Europe, starting with the UK, to rediscover that belief in yourself, because when you rediscover that, we will be an unstoppable coalition.
There you go, a breath of fresh air and positivity coming from the States. I think something that the UK really needs right now.